When Jalen stopped his cargo truck on the outskirts of Sector 12, he didn't expect his day to get any weirder. The twin suns had already begun to dip below the crystal ridges, painting the alien landscape in burnt orange and violet hues. He'd just dropped off a shipment of machine parts to a mining colony when he saw her, a small, hunched figure standing at the roadside, waving a cane that looked older than his entire truck. The alien woman was clearly struggling, her movements slow and uneven. Her grayish-green skin shimmered faintly under the suns, her robes layered with symbols that looked hand-stitched and ancient. Jalen killed the engine and hopped out. "You all right, ma'am?" he called. She squinted at him, her four eyes narrowing with suspicion and then softening. "You're human, yes? The trader from Terra?" "That's me," Jalen said, slinging his jacket over one shoulder. "Need a lift?" The old alien hesitated, then nodded. "My name is Vietra. My walking pod broke down. My village is a few clicks north." "Hop in," Jalen said, helping her climb aboard. It took them 30 minutes to reach the village, a humble cluster of domed homes surrounded by fields of bioluminescent crops. Along the way, Vietra talked, a lot, about her grandchildren, about the state of galactic politics, about how humans were too thin-skinned and far too polite. Jalen mostly smiled and nodded, steering carefully over the rocky terrain. When they finally arrived, Vietra insisted he come inside for tea. "It's the least I can do," she said. "You've saved me quite a few aches." Jalen followed her into a cozy home carved into the side of a cliff. The interior smelled like spices and with smoke. Strange orbs hovered near the ceiling, pulsing with soft light. Vietra shuffled about with surprising energy now, setting out cups made of translucent stone and filling them with a blue liquid that smelled faintly of mint. He took a cautious sip. "Not bad." Vietra's grin revealed rows of sharp, yet oddly elegant teeth. "It's an old family brew. Strengthens the spirit and the heart." Jalen chuckled. "Could use some of that. Been a long week." The old woman tilted her head, studying him like a hawk might study a particularly interesting mouse. "No mate? No offspring?" He coughed on his drink. No. None of that." Vietra's grin widened. "Good. Then I'll fix that." "Fix what?" "Your lonely heart, of course. My granddaughter, Trella, is of fine age and finer spirit. She needs a strong male who can lift heavy things and doesn't faint at the sight of real food." "Wait, what?" But Vietra was already hobbling off into another room, calling out her own language. A moment later, someone appeared, tall, graceful, and clearly flustered. The young alien woman had pale turquoise skin and eyes like liquid silver. She wore simple work clothes, her hair like tendrils tied back with a cloth. Trella's expression shifted from confusion to horror as she saw her grandmother's wide grin. "Grandmother, please tell me you didn't." "I did," Vietra said proudly. "This is Jalen, a brave, honest human who helped me today. He's kind and unattached. Perfect husband material." Trella's jaw dropped. Jalen rubbed the back of his neck. Speechless. "Ma'am, I think there's been a misunderstanding." "There is no misunderstanding," Vietra declared, slamming her cane against the floor. "The stars aligned strangely today. Perhaps it's fate." Trella groaned. "Fate has bad timing." The rest of the evening was an awkward blur. Vietra kept serving them food, each dish stranger and spicier than the last, while casually listing the qualities that would make Jalen a fine match. Strong arms, symmetrical eyes, excellent politeness. Look at him, Trella. He even chews quietly. By the time Jalen left, his cheeks hurt from forced smiles. Over the next few days, he returned to the village with more supplies, and each time, Vietra seemed more determined. She'd accidentally send Trella to help him unload his cargo, or she'd invite him to family meals that always turned into matchmaking ambushes. At first, Trella was mortified. She avoided eye contact, answered his attempt at conversation with curt one-word replies, and constantly scolded her grandmother in their native tongue. But over time, the awkwardness softened into something else. When she wasn't being ambushed by Vietra's schemes, Trella was surprisingly easy to talk to. She was funny in a dry, understated way, often teasing about human oddities, like why they covered their feet or why they insisted on cooking everything instead of eating it raw. She also had a habit of humming while she worked, a haunting melody that seemed to make the air hum with warmth. One evening, after fixing the old woman's pod as a favor, Jalen found Trella sitting outside the home, her silver eyes reflecting the twin moons. "Sorry about all the marriage talk," she said softly. "Grandmother means well. She just doesn't like being the only one left in the family without great-grandchildren." Jalen laughed. "It's all right. I'm used to old ladies trying to run my life. Just not alien ones." Trella smiled faintly. "You're different, you know. Most humans don't bother with our kind unless there's profit involved." "I wasn't raised that way." "Then you're a rare one." A comfortable silence settled between them, broken only by the soft chirping of night insects. She turned toward him suddenly. "Do you think humans and my kind could actually be compatible?" Jalen blinked. "You mean like in general? Or—" Her expression deepened. "I mean emotionally, spiritually. You humans are full of contradictions. So fragile, yet so persistent. It's confusing." He thought about it, then said quietly, "Maybe confusion's part of the charm." That earned him a genuine laugh, a soft, musical sound that made the night feel lighter. The next morning, Jalen woke to find Vietra outside his truck, waiting like a general ready to brief her soldier. "I've decided," she said firmly. "You'll attend the harvest festival with Trella." He sighed. "Let me guess, pretend engagement?" "Not pretend. A proper introduction," she said gleefully. "It's tradition. You saved my life, So the stars owe you a bond. Before he could argue, Trella appeared, her cheeks slightly flushed. Please just go along with it. If we refuse, she'll invite half the village to watch. So he did. That evening, they walked together to the glowing fields, surrounded by villagers, laughter, and alien music that pulsed in the air like a heartbeat. Trella wore a shimmering wrap that caught the moonlight, and for the first time, Jalen saw her smile without embarrassment. As they reached the center of the celebration, Vietra approached with a ceremonial ribbon in hand. As is custom, she announced, two souls who share the same rhythm must tie their bond. Jalen tried to protest, but then Trella met his gaze and whispered, "Just hold still. It's symbolic." They both held one end of the ribbon as Vietra tied it around their wrists. The moment she finished, a soft pulse of warmth traveled to the material, alive, somehow, resonating with both their heartbeats. The crowd cheered. Vietra's grin was radiant. Later that night, when the festivities died down, Trella still hadn't let go of the ribbon. She looked at him quietly and said, "It shouldn't have reacted like that." Reacted? It only glows if both people truly mean the bond. Jalen froze. "You're saying—" "I don't know," she said quickly. "Maybe the fabric was old, or maybe the stars are laughing at us." He looked down at their joined hands, the faint light still pulsing between them. "If it's fake," he said softly, "it's got a weird sense of humor." Trella smiled. "Maybe that's what I like about it." Weeks later, Jalen was still delivering supplies to the village, but by then, everyone had stopped calling him the human traitor. They called him Trellias Chosen. He didn't correct them. Vietra, of course, acted like she'd orchestrated it all. "The stars knew better than either of you," she would say, sipping her glowing tea with satisfaction. Sometimes destiny just needs a little push from an old woman with a cane. Jalen could only laugh and silently agree. Sometimes the strangest roads led to the right destination.